AKAPADers. Welcome to episode 494. I am your host, Peter A. DeLuca, and I apologize. I think on the latest episode I didn't do full intros, but I am Peter A. DeLuca, aka the Pop Culture Pope, aka Spicy Taco Roast Beef Sandwich, the creator of Uzi Suzy Try by Fire. Support me now, support my efforts, support endless content at akapad.com. You can sign up, get your free Wolfpack trading card. We're talking significant, meaningful, real filmmakers. We're talking guys and women that do it, that get the job done. Their career, their filmography, their highs and their lows. Previously, we spoke about Michael Bay. If Michael Bay had another dragon head, if we were to call it a two-headed dragon, the opposite end of that head, the other one, would be our boy here, Zack Snyder, who somehow people turned on this. People turned on him because we're in the internet age and people's opinions suck. Bad opinions. 2004. We're gonna get right into it. 2004. Dawn of the Dead. Quickly held up as one of the greatest remakes of all time, one of the greatest horror remakes of all time. Potentially, I would put this right there, the greatest zombie movie of all time. This movie, when I think I saw it with one of my girlfriends because she liked horror movies, and that's just the way it is sometimes. And the movie freaking blew me away. The first 15, 20 minutes is still the absolute best. No one has done a zombie outbreak as well as Zack Snyder has for 2004 Dawn of the Dead. This put Zack on the map. It really did. And with 3 years later, we have this other movie. I pop in to see this movie just because I like Frank Miller. I like the graphic novel, but it's more or less a miniseries. People call it a graphic novel of 300. And I am blown away. This movie is still on my regular watch list. I watch this movie before I go to the gym. I don't care. I want to rage. I want to lift weights. I want to fight gravity. I want to grow. This movie is not... 2007 300 is nothing but inspirational. 2009. This is where now we start to turn. For some reason, Watchmen is not considered maybe the greatest comic book adaptation of all time. Watchmen is like his previous movies, an absolute masterpiece. The movie's a weapon. The movie is perfect. It is thought out from corner to corner. It is designed. It is there to address issues with the original story that people don't like nor understand, the alien invasion angle. He finds a better solution. He honors the path of that solution by creating new comic book pages, commissioning Dave Gibbons to come in and create new pages of this new ending. And then he releases this definitive cut or ultimate cut, which has everything. I mean, the definitive cut for this movie, it's the greatest adaptation ever. 2009. 2010, maybe the one dark spot, The Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. Now, some of these guys, we see with Robert Zemeckis, and we see it with Gore Verbinski with Rango, the Johnny Depp lizard animated movie. Some of these guys, some of our dudes here, they like animation. They want to make an animated movie of their own. They want to get involved with the animation process. The emphasis on story, all of it. Watchmen has not had a resurgence, but I will say the Owls of Ga'Hoole have. This is a little bit of a rising tide movie. More and more people are respecting this movie, which is fine by me. 2011, This is the turn. Much hyped. I remember on ain'titcoolnews.com seeing preview images of this, but it was just like a flyer, and it was like, I believe, a drawing of Zack Snyder. Sucker Punch. Yeah, the world is yet to honor this one. It is as visual, as amazing. The action is some of the absolute best. For some reason, it's not held up as a fantasy movie, but this movie is also dark and disturbing. When our main character envisions these sequences for Sucker Punch, she is in effect potentially being R-word, we'll say. She is being sexually assaulted in some way because her mind needs to go somewhere to protect herself. That's the point of Sucker Punch. That's why it's called Sucker Punch. What I told you there, no one seems to ever caught. 2013, the only movie I saw with my buddy Scott and his wife, Man of Steel, and people have now lost their shit when it comes to Zack Snyder. This movie at one time was championed by Christopher Nolan. It was like almost like his project. Zack was coming in as like a number 2 type thing. But it's as good as an update as the Donner Superman. It's fun. It's attractive. It's cinematic. The Codex. I love the Codex angle. They put the idea in play that Kryptonians have circumnavigated the entire galaxy, as Michael Bay did with Transformers. The two are very similar on that. Man of Steel is a legit effing movie. It's awesome. I love it. Now, we're not dealing with Zack Snyder directing, but the 300 Rise of the Empire. He was writer, producer. 300 Rise of the Empire, just like Sin City, is another installment that really came too late. But it's good, it's solid, it's awesome. It's got some of the best movie breasts of the modern age. If you like the boobies, Rise of an Empire is there. And I would love to see a supercut of this movie cut into 300. And then 2016, we have completed the turn. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Yeah, people love to hate. I will say, we can go back and check it. We may have been very disappointed and angry with this movie. I was on that bandwagon. I have seen this movie too much. There's a longer cut of this movie, which goes through some of the plot threads. And if you care about that element, if that element entertains you within the realm of cinema and film going, the extended, ultimate, definitive cut, director's cut of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, it's 1000% there. My one disappointment always with this movie is that they busted the Doomsday nut. I would have loved for Doomsday to have lived and survived past this movie, because I'm a Doomsday guy. Films that he's involved with for category 1, Alex. 2017 Wonder Woman. Story, producer. We're going off of Wikipedia here. We love it. Now we're within the Zack Snyder DC verse. His third DC movie, Justice League. Holy crap, legendary arc of this movie. He had his daughter committed suicide. The studio, Warner Brothers, seems to have taken the movie away. They gave it to another filmmaker, Josh Whedon, and a different movie got spun out. No one backed this movie. It was tough. I spoke about it when I saw it. Kind of did like a little bit of a hot take, even though I hate hot takes. But where this pressure came from the 2013 Man of Steel to make this cinematic universe, okay? It wasn't there with Man of Steel. If they could have done it, they didn't do it. Wonder Woman 1984 producer. I may be the only person that likes this movie more than I should, more than other commentators and reviewers. We'll leave it at that. 2021, 3 movies. But we're going to start with Zack Snyder's Justice League. This movie is one of the great superhero movies. Great in tropes. Great in alternative reality, meaning a multiverse. The ideas, the possibilities, the arc of the villains, the introduction of the villain, because we got multiple villains. The idea of this movie, it's nothing but there. It's mesmerizing. It's fun. It's comic book. And it's also Zack Snyder. And it's also serious. I like it. I like that. I want the DC movies to get as dark as possible. That's why I can't wait for Black Adam. Also in 2021. Now, keep in mind, Zack Snyder's Justice League was pretty much like a COVID project. His teasing and building the hype for that on social media is to be studied. 2021, Army of the Dead. This is what I consider to be the greatest zombie movie of all time. It's the only zombie movie that goes through all this, like, it explains everything about the zombies, and it goes through different levels of zombies. It's awesome. It's awesome. Love this freaking movie. Love it. Netflix, rock and roll. Also, a discussion about this movie on previous published episodes of AKAPAD's Audio Audacity podcast. 2021, story producer, Army of Thieves. This is a spin-off of Army of the Dead. We spoke about this. This episode, too, still gets a lot of traction. Army of Thieves, it's awesome. It's fun. A little bit of a backstory to the what's happening around this zombie outbreak as we're focusing on the heist. But it leads into one of the characters. It's awesome. It's unexpected. I love quick drops like this. I like it when they go all in on some of these ideas. And you'll also see this too with like animation. They'll quickly announce animation projects and things like that around movies that, you know, like should have become the next Star Wars, for lack of a better term, like Chronicles of Riddick. I'm looking at you. And then we have his other movie coming from Netflix. A movie that was pitched as a Star Wars movie. Rebel Moon. The imagery alone from this movie should put Zack Snyder back on the map. Back there as one of the modern day greats. Because his films are very deep. And they're very detailed. And he doesn't seem to be driven crazy by this. And, you know, like you might just like people about like Wes Anderson and these other guys. I don't know. Zack Snyder is like a glossy blockbuster, big budget version of Wes Anderson. But no one is excited for Wes Anderson's next movie, but they are people excited for Rebel Moon. Look it up. The stills, the visuals alone are enough to get you going. And that concludes my Zack Snyder episode. I have to add this guy. I really do. He's contributed so much, and it's like you have to honor the effort that some of these people put into their work, and he just keeps going, and he's proven so much with the Zack Snyder's Justice League. He really has. He won in a big way with that movie, with that release. I don't know, like what HBO Max is saying. I know there's been like some back and forth on if they wanted it or if they were happy with it, but dude, it got everyone talking for a good while. Okay, it got people's juices flowing. So whatever. What else would you want? Rock and roll, people. AKAPAD's All Day Audacity podcast. Next episode, 495. we're going to go through who might be, a lot of people will say, the greatest filmmaker ever. Steven Spielberg. We're going to do Steven Spielberg. But we got issues with his filmography.